Is Caitlin Clark sending a message to Stephanie White, Amber Cox, Kelly Krauskopf, and the Indiana Fever? A message could be being delivered. Many people are speculating with this bold move.
Caitlin Clark, Indiana Fever, and the New York Liberty, a developing WNBA story. Welcome back to the Clark Update, your destination for the biggest stories, latest developments, and most talked about moments in women's basketball. Today, we are looking at a developing story involving Caitlin Clark, the Indiana Fever, the New York Liberty, and the growing speculation surrounding one of the WNBA's biggest stars. Before we begin, make sure you subscribe to the Clark Update, turn on notifications, and join the conversation in the comments. There is a lot to unpack, so let's get straight into today's story. The WNBA is once again at the center of a major conversation, and this time, the focus is on Caitlin Clark and her future with the Indiana Fever. Reports and online speculation have fueled claims that Clark could eventually consider leaving Indiana, while rumors have also suggested that other teams, including the New York Liberty, could have interest in acquiring her. But it is important to separate confirmed information from speculation. There has been no official announcement that Clark is leaving the Fever, and there is no confirmed blockbuster trade sending her to New York. Nevertheless, the rumors have created a huge debate among fans who are questioning whether Indiana can continue building a successful organization around its generational young star. Clark's relationship with the Fever organization has been closely watched since she entered the league. Every coaching decision, every change in playing time, every physical matchup, and every difficult moment on the court has received enormous attention. Because Clark is one of the most recognizable players in basketball, even ordinary basketball decisions can quickly become major headlines. One of the biggest issues discussed by fans has been the physical treatment Clark receives during games. Opponents have been aggressive in defending her, and some incidents have generated significant controversy. Supporters have argued that officials and the league should do more to protect star players from dangerous or unnecessary contact. Others believe that physical defense is simply part of professional basketball. That debate.
SpaghettiOs. Caitlin Clark introducing the Statue of Liberty edition, the New York Liberty edition. I already know you damn near besties with Sabrina. We think you cool with Lexi. No, you go way back with Sabrina. Caitlin Clark could be sending a message to the Indiana Fever. Hey, I might not sign that epic. Y'all pushing everybody else for MVP. Stephanie White is having tantrums every time I shoot the ball. She's falling over herself on the sidelines. I don't have to deal with this. I can go elsewhere. And I think Caitlin Clark should seriously consider going elsewhere.
Has placed additional pressure on Indiana's coaching staff. Fans naturally expect a team to support its franchise player, particularly when that player is carrying enormous expectations and attention. When Clark has missed games or had her minutes managed, questions have sometimes followed about her health, workload, and the team's long-term approach. However, claims that the Fever have deliberately fabricated medical information or intentionally manipulated Clark's playing time remain allegations, not established facts. Those claims should not be treated as confirmed unless supported by credible reporting or official statements. Still, the perception surrounding the organization matters. For Indiana, the challenge is bigger than simply winning games. The Fever are trying to build a long-term identity around a player who has transformed interest in the franchise. Clark has brought extraordinary attention to Indiana, and keeping her happy and committed to the organization is obviously a major priority. That is where speculation about the New York Liberty becomes a level.
Just has to do better, and we have to invest in those areas. The technology can get better. We can treat the referees a little bit better, pay them like they're full-time employees. I think things like that, and I think a lot has obviously come after that. And as I've stood up here and said before, like the harassment, the hate, none of that is okay. That goes for the opposing team we play. That goes for my teammates. That goes for my coaches. There should never be a question of character. Like I've always stood up here and said that, and that's truly what I believe. That's how I was raised. So, none of that is okay, and I don't want anybody to ever experience that. I think it can be really frustrating to me at times, and I think it's difficult. I think a lot of people sometimes think I'm a robot. I'm not a robot. I have emotions, I have feelings, and it can be really difficult to go through a lot of that. And I'm 24 years old trying to navigate a lot, and I think at times I've been in this world for 4 years now, and you would never change any of it, but there are times that it is hard, and there are times that it probably affects me a little bit more than I do put on. And, I would never change any of that for the world. But I think it's important that people do remember that part of it too. So,
Especially interesting. The Liberty already have one of the WNBA's most powerful organizations, a championship-caliber roster, an enormous market, and significant resources. If Clark were ever available, virtually every team in the league would have reason to investigate the possibility. New York, in particular, would be an obvious name for fans and analysts to discuss because of its market, competitive ambitions, and established star power. Online reports have even mentioned the possibility of an enormous financial package or blockbuster trade proposal. But once again, there is a major difference between a hypothetical scenario and an actual offer. There is currently no confirmed evidence that the Liberty have completed, or are officially preparing, a massive trade for Clark. Likewise, claims involving individuals such as Chris DeMarco should be treated carefully unless they are backed by direct statements or reliable reporting. The same applies to speculation involving other players, including Sophie Cunningham. Rumors can spread rapidly across social media, particularly when they involve one of the most famous athletes in the sport. A single comment, vague report, or fan theory can quickly become a supposed breaking story. And that is exactly why this situation deserves careful attention. If Clark were ever to seriously consider leaving Indiana, the consequences would be enormous. The Fever would have to confront the possibility of losing the centerpiece.
We have to get to this. Shout out to ESP Ben, because he broke down the fact that Caitlin is still being targeted and she's still not getting any calls from the referees, like at all. It's really, really bad what's going on. And it's almost like Kathy's not, she's dropped the ball. We know she's dropped the ball. She's getting nothing done when it comes to this. Take a look at this here. Let me refresh this so we can get it going. Okay.
To her throat for the third straight game. She was out of rhythm because they hit her and fouled her this entire game. I got proof of everything. Watch this dirty crap. Caitlin Clark was getting hit, held. Shoot, she was getting tackled like a football player.
Yo, that's crazy right there.
Piece of their rebuild, while the WNBA would face another major shift in competitive balance. For Indiana, the solution would not simply be replacing one player. The organization would need to examine its coaching structure, front office decisions, player development, roster construction, and overall relationship with its franchise star. For the Liberty, meanwhile, acquiring someone of Clark's profile would completely change the league's landscape. Imagine Clark playing alongside an already elite New York roster. The attention would be extraordinary, the commercial impact could be massive, and every matchup involving New York would instantly become must-watch television. But none of that means such a move is inevitable. At this moment, the most important question is not whether a sensational trade rumor sounds believable. The real question is whether Indiana can continue creating an environment in which Clark believes she can compete, develop, and win. The Fever have an opportunity to control.
But the New York Liberty could be in Caitlin Clark's future as she is promoting the New York Liberty Statue of Liberty ones, CC ones.
Control their own future. Strong communication, smart roster decisions, effective coaching, and a clear long-term vision could go a long way toward strengthening the relationship between the organization and its superstar. Clark's future will remain one of the biggest stories in women's basketball, whether the next headline involves Indiana, New York, another potential destination, or simply another chapter in her development with the Fever. One thing is certain, the level of attention today.
The Indiana Fever, they're not honest about any injuries ever. So, we can't necessarily look for transparency through them at all. It'd be a complete waste of time to look for transparency through the Indiana Fever's organization when it comes down to the injury of Aaliyah Boston. So,
surrounding Caitlin Clark has changed the WNBA conversation. Every decision involving her is examined, debated, and shared around the world. That attention creates tremendous opportunities, but it also creates enormous pressure for everyone involved. So, is Caitlin Clark actually preparing to leave the Indiana Fever? Has the New York Liberty made a serious move behind the scenes? Or are fans watching another rumor grow far beyond the available evidence? For now, those questions remain unanswered. What happens next could depend on the Fever's decisions, Clark's own ambitions, and the direction of the franchise moving forward. Until official information emerges, the smartest approach is to separate confirmed developments from speculation. The story is still developing, and the basketball world will be watching closely. If you enjoyed this update, make sure you subscribe to the Clark Update, turn on notifications, and share your thoughts below. Do you believe Caitlin Clark will remain with the Indiana Fever, or could a blockbuster move eventually change the future of the WNBA? This is the Clark Update. Stay tuned for the next chapter. The future of basketball, fans, debate, and what comes next. Whether you are a longtime Indiana Fever supporter, a passionate New York Liberty fan, a Caitlin Clark fan, or simply someone who loves basketball, there is no question that the attention surrounding these developments has reached an incredible level. Across social media, sports programs, podcasts, and basketball communities, fans are debating what could happen next. Everyone seems to have a different prediction, and that is what makes this story so compelling. Some believe stability, patience, and strong development are the keys to building a championship team. Others believe that major changes and bold decisions are sometimes necessary to create a winning future. Whatever your opinion may be, there is one point that is difficult to ignore: the WNBA continues to grow at an extraordinary pace. The league's biggest stars are attracting unprecedented attention, while passionate fans are following every game, every decision, and every major storyline. The dedication of the athletes, the energy inside arenas, and the growing media spotlight have created an exciting period for women's basketball. And when a major story develops around a player as recognizable as Caitlin Clark, the conversation naturally becomes even bigger. But why do these stories matter so much? Because sports have always been about more than statistics and final scores. Basketball is about competition, ambition, teamwork, leadership, sacrifice, and the desire to become better. Fans develop emotional connections with players and teams because they see the effort behind the performance. They see athletes overcome difficult moments. They see teams fight through adversity. They watch young players develop into stars and established players attempt to reach another level. That emotional connection is what makes sports so powerful. When major developments involve high-profile players or organizations, fans naturally want to understand what could happen next. They want to analyze every possibility, discuss potential moves, and imagine how one decision could change an entire franchise. At the same time, there is an important lesson to remember in today's fast-moving sports environment: not every rumor is a confirmed fact. Reports, speculation, predictions, and social media discussions can spread incredibly quickly. A rumor can appear online and, within hours, become the center of thousands of conversations. But until an official announcement is made, there may still be significant uncertainty surrounding the situation. That does not mean fans should stop discussing possibilities. In fact, speculation is one of the most entertaining parts of being a sports fan. People love making predictions. They debate which teams will win championships. They discuss potential trades. They analyze coaching decisions and compare players. They imagine what could happen if a superstar changes teams or if a young roster suddenly takes the next step. Those conversations keep the sport alive between games and create communities where fans can exchange ideas. Now, we want to hear from you. What do you believe is the most important ingredient for building a successful basketball franchise today? Is organizational culture the foundation of everything? Is elite coaching the difference between a good team and a championship contender? Or do superstar players have the greatest influence on a franchise's future? There is no single answer, and that is what makes the discussion so interesting. A great organization needs talented players, but talent alone is rarely enough. Coaching matters. Leadership matters. Player development matters. Front office decisions matter. Team chemistry matters. Even the relationship between an organization and its players can have a major influence on long-term success. Championship teams are usually built through a combination of many different elements coming together at the right time. That is why every major decision can have consequences far beyond one season. So, share your opinion in the comments below. We want to know where you stand and what you believe matters most when building a winning team. We read your comments, and some of the best conversations on this channel come directly from viewers. Your opinions, predictions, and different perspectives make this community stronger. If you are enjoying the discussion, make sure to support the channel by hitting the like button. It may seem like a small action, but it helps more basketball fans discover these videos and join the conversation. And if you are new here, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss a future upload. We are constantly following the biggest basketball stories, the most important developments, and the debates that have fans talking. Whether the story involves the WNBA, the Indiana Fever, the New York Liberty, Caitlin Clark, or another rising star, we will continue bringing you updates and discussions as the season develops. You can also share this video with your friends, family, and fellow basketball fans. Sports are always more enjoyable when fans come together.